So after 3 games with the Atlanta Hawks, Jonathan Kuminga has been showing out, man, and they are calling it the Human Highlight Reel 2.0, which is crazy because the original Human Highlight Reel calls games for the Atlanta Hawks. So Dominique Wilkins was in attendance for these at least the last game. I don't know if he was there for the first 2 games against the Wizards, but they had a 3-game homestand in Atlanta. Kuminga's first game was a home game against the Wizards, and then they got a couple of days off, and then they played the Wizards back to back in Atlanta, and then they finished off with the Trailblazers, and all 3 games were blowouts. In all 3 games, Jonathan Kuminga played absolutely phenomenal. Off the bench, I think he started one of those games. He's averaging 21 points and about 8 rebounds, and he's only playing about 24 minutes a game. So and it's not even about the numbers. It's not about the stats. And for everyone who's go poo-poo it and say it's the Wizards and the Blazers and they're not playoff teams, okay, cool. If you don't want to count anything that you see on film based on what the team is, then cool. We have to do that for everybody. So whenever we have a crazy game from someone that you like, that's already a proven all-star, I think we should probably bring it down a notch because it's not a playoff team, right? So as long as we consistent, as long as whoever is thinking like that is consistent, I ain't got no qualms about it, man. If you want to say this don't count, like, hey, I seen him play and look good on film, but it don't count, cool. Just be consistent across the board. But I also would like to ask people who think that you can't count these because they're not playoff teams. I want to know what you thought about how they benched him the entire second half of the season last year. And then Steph Curry gets hurt in the second round of the playoffs against the Minnesota Timberwolves, first game. And then all of a sudden, all right, looks like we got to bring Kuminga in, which is pretty funny because this is a player that wasn't part of your rotation at all down the stretch of the season. So that's the coaching staff, Steve Kerr mainly saying, we don't need this player on the floor. We can't use him. And then you bring in a guy like Jimmy Butler to be a bona fide number 2 to Steph Curry to help him with the scoring load. And then immediately when he gets there, you give him a huge contract extension in his great old big age. A contract extension that you thought Klay Thompson was too old or too washed up to get. So you let him walk and go to Dallas. And the type of contract extension that wasn't even nowhere close to what Jonathan Kuminga was asking for, but you played around with him and negotiated in bad faith, not letting him get his market value or what he felt like he was worth or what his agent felt like he was worth. Right. So he wasn't even asking for Jimmy Butler type money. Klay Thompson was. Kuminga was asking for less, and he's the younger, more promising player. And you tell him you can't give him that type of money. And then just to have, let's trade for a guy at your same position who's older. And then immediately when he comes in, we re-sign him after we've been fiddling around with your contract all season long. And then once they bring Butler in, that's telling me, hey, we didn't think you could, help and be a number 2. We didn't think we can rely on you. Okay, cool. If you don't think that, then you shouldn't have a problem with me going in free agency and finding a team who does think highly of me. But instead of the Golden State Warriors allowing him to just leave in free agency because he was a restricted free agency, they said, well, since you're thinking about leaving us and it's too late for us to trade you this season, we can't let you walk for nothing this summer. So what we're going to do is we're going to bench you for the remainder of the season. Therefore, we can't put any film on the record for people to look at and see what you are worth and how good you are. That was their plan, and that's why they benched them. But the plan derailed because they put all their chips on 2 old guys and Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler. And when Jimmy Butler got hurt, when Steph Curry got hurt in the playoffs, Jimmy Butler couldn't lead the team as a number 1, and they had no choice but to bring Kuminga in. So if Jimmy Butler, who you're paying to be the number 2, which number twos are supposed to step up in the absence of a number one. When Steph Curry got hurt, Jimmy Butler played like a number three option. Like instead of him stepping up, he stepped back. He started taking less shots. He was like, I didn't come here to lead no squad. And he took a step back. And they had to put Jonathan Kuminga in to be the number one option against Minnesota. And he did well. I think he averaged 24 against a real good playoff team that, you know, that went toe-to-toe with the champs and OKC Thunder. Right? So let that sink in. Like this guy that they said, we're going to bench you. We don't think that highly of you. We're going to bench you, but then we need you against the T-Wolves when Steph goes down because the number two that we're paying to be a number two stepped backwards when Steph got hurt, and we don't have someone that's going to step up to be the number one in the absence of Steph Curry. Jonathan Kuminga had to do it. So that's the groundwork. But let's get into the most recent game, the Portland Trailblazers, and what Dominique Wilkins said. I lay down a little bit of groundwork. First of all, he had 27 in his debut against the Wizards with the Hawks. 27. Next game he had 17, and then the Portland game he had 20. He's averaging 21. The crowd loves him. The audience love him. The commentators love him. Atlanta, period, loves him. He seems to love Atlanta. The teammates love him. Snyder, the head coach, he doesn't just rave about him. I assume he likes him, but I can't tell. But I mean, he's playing phenomenal basketball. That's for sure, right? He's playing phenomenal basketball. But you could tell the crowd loves him. The commentators are raving about him, and every game he's had a highlight, which is not, you know, I mean, it's not nothing, but it's not nothing to really brag about. You got a highlight. We want to see players come in and help us win, right? So they're winning. He's playing phenomenal. He's not even dominating the ball. He's playing off the ball. He's allowing C.J. McCollum to be a point guard. He's allowing Jalen Johnson to do what he does with the ball. He's off the ball for the most part. He's rarely on ball. And he rarely takes a lot of dribbles. He's playing more like people was trained to play in the early 2000s and the 90s. When you're off the ball and you're a scorer, you don't take a lot of dribbles. When you get the ball, you efficiently take 1 to 2 dribbles and get to a pull-up, or 1 to 2 dribbles and get all the way to the lane if the lane is allowing you to do that. Or you just get in the post if you got a mouse in the house. That's how he's playing. He's playing like he's been trained by some old head. And maybe that was too old school for Steve Kerr, and maybe that's why he didn't like him. But anyway, man, he had some phenomenal showings in all 3 of those games. And at some point, it feels like he took over a moment of the game in each game. It's like a stretch that happened, and it felt like, okay, this is the Jonathan. First of all, the first game, as soon as he got in, because he didn't start, as soon as he got in, the tides changed. Everything on defense changed, on offense changed. It was a different speed. You could tell he was an automatic mismatch for whoever was trying to guard him. Like, he's an automatic mismatch. Like, go back and look at some of the playoff games or the games against the Lakers when LeBron and AD was there. Like, he's an athlete that the Golden State Warriors don't have, and he's a mismatch. He can get to a spot, rise up. He can post up. He's fast. He can jump high. He's physical. He's strong. Like, he's everything. Like, how do you not find a spot for that guy somewhere in your offense? It's beyond me. And that's what Dominique Wilkins kind of said as well. I'm going to play for you after he got a series of dunks. One dunk where it was a fast break. He got out on the break, windmilled it, head at the rim, and did a Dominique Wilkins style windmill off 2 feet. It impressed Dominique Wilkins. So you're going to hear them kind of talking about that and saying, thank you, Golden State Warriors, for being dumb. And he said, I don't know how you give up on a guy this early, this young, with this much talent. That's what Dominique said. Like, they're very impressed by not just his athleticism, but impressed by him as a prospect, period. He's only 23. He came in out of high school. He's from the Congo. English is second language. Right? I'm going to explain some of this stuff, why that's important in a minute. But listen to Dominique talk about this.
129-99, a third straight blowout for the Hawks at home. We've been there waiting all year for this.
I'm telling you.
Picked off by Onyeka. Kispert saves. Over to Vincent. He gets it inside to Kuminga. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
With the left.
Stop everything.
Oh, man. Thank you, Golden State Warriors. We appreciate it.
Just stop what you're doing.
Look at this dunk here. Switch hands in the air. The big fella there said, you know what? You know what? I could see.
Man, the force, the power, the athleticism. Oh, Atlanta, we got something special. Telling you.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Hey, but Bob, I'm not surprised. I mean, this kind of play, we've seen Kuminga do this before, in Golden State, man, and how you give up on a guy that young with that ability, it's beyond me.
Take your breath away. If the windmill dunk didn't get you, that one did.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. The windmill dunk set him up. It set him up for what was to come. The lefty, switch hands in the air. Beautiful.
Man. Jonathan Kuminga.
Hey, Nick. I mean, man, we've seen some guys. I mean, Vince Carter. I mean, I'm not saying that Kuminga's in that, but some in-game dunks. I mean, have you seen anybody this year with two better in-game dunks like that?
Back to back?
Back to back.
No. And like I was telling Bob, I said I'm going to shake his hand after the game or before we get on the bus, say, hey, man, job well done.
I mean, this is the dunk contest dunk right there.
Yes, it is.
And if this one right here, he brought it from his pocket.
Oh
man. My God.
I must commend young Hansen for getting out of the way.
Bob, that's what you call a business decision.
So Steve Kerr did not want that type of promise and that type of excitement in Golden State for whatever reason. Let's not put that on the floor. I think putting Quentin Post and Popminski on the floor would do the trick more than what Kuminga could do. And it's not just dunks with Kuminga. First of all, he speeds the game up because he's a deer. He's an athletic beast. Speed, quickness, agility, leaping ability, strength. Like he got all of that off the charts. All of that is off the charts, right? We used to love stuff like that. I understand it's not everything. I understand that your athletic prowess is not everything. I get that, right? But you have to develop a player like that. Like this is a raw, like you got him as an 18-year-old. This is a raw specimen of a player that if you get this right, if you build him up correctly, that is a heck of a weapon. I mean, I'm about to say some names, and I don't want to say that he's there yet, but there's a lot of people that came in a little bit raw that was like, man, if I built this dude up, he's going to be phenomenal. And, T-Mac was a little raw. Same athleticism, leaping ability, all of that stuff. The difference between Kuminga and T-Mac now is T-Mac developed a handle that was insane. Like his handle was as good as Kobe's, and Kobe's was as good as Iverson's. So you get Kobe at 6'6", T-Mac at 6'9", handling the ball like AI. That's a heck of a weapon. The only thing is left is learn how to play the game at the pro level and get a jump shot. Can you hit the jump shot? Can you hit the three? Right? That was all. That was it. So for Kuminga, he got everything physically. All right, you're 18. We got to get your jump shot ready. We got to get your three ready. When you watch it, same thing as Anthony Edwards. Like, remember, Steve Kerr is the same dude that told Anthony Edwards at the Olympics that even if we had a shot at you with the number, did Anthony Edwards go number one? I think he did go number one. And I think that's the year that Golden State had the number 2 pick and they picked James Wiseman. Steve Kerr scouted Anthony Edwards and came away with, we don't want him. because he's not thinking about anything other than, okay, the system that we have with the Splash Brothers. That's the only thing he's thinking about. Now, with Kevin Durant, he was already a proven commodity. So when Golden State got Kevin Durant, okay, we got our system, but Kevin Durant is so good with jump shooting and fitting into that system, they didn't have to change it much. So Kevin Durant was a seamless fit. But what Steve Kerr is basically telling us without telling us, what he's basically showing us is that the system that I have don't allow for any type of adaptation or change. It has to revolve around Steph, and if you can't fit it in that, you just can't fit into it. Like, it has no adaptation. But, you know, I don't know if that's really true, because even though Kevin Durant was a seamless fit, it did adapt a little bit, because Kevin Durant would get post touches. Like, whenever their offense went stale, they would let Kevin Durant rock a little bit. They'll throw it to him in the post and create offense with him in the post. They've done that. But I guess what he's saying is, Kuminga, I don't think you can do that. And the fact that you think you can and you want to is the reason why they was clashing, right? So this is what I think was going on with Golden State and Steve Kerr and Jonathan Kuminga. This is what I think what was going on. I want to bring up a name to y'all, a guy that I really liked a whole lot when he was playing with Golden State. When he was playing with Golden State, when KD was there, even before KD was there, I was one of Steph Curry's and Steve Kerr's and Golden State. I was one of their biggest supporters. I love watching them play. It was good basketball, beautiful basketball. I liked everything about Golden State. When they got Kevin Durant, I liked them even more. And I can't remember if it was with the Kevin Durant squad or before, but they had this kid named Jordan Bell. They had a kid named Jordan Bell who played, what's up, SWAT? Who played at UCLA. They got him as a rookie, and he was about the same size as Jonathan Kuminga. I think Kuminga is listed about 6'7". Bell was about 6'6", but he wasn't a guard per se. He was an athlete that could run, jump, dunk. He played defense. You know, he was just good. He was pretty much what Gary Payton Jr. is, but Gary Payton Jr. is only like 6'3". So he's definitely a point guard. But Jordan Bell was playing power forward for Golden State and some small forward. Loved him. I love Jordan Bell. Now I want you to think about, and I have no knowledge that this is true, but this is just me on the outside looking in, trying to see and put two and two together. What I think happened is that when Steve Kerr got Jonathan Kuminga, because when they lost Jordan Bell, they was always trying to find somebody like him to replace. They went and got TSC. What was it? Thomas. I forgot his name. TSC. They went and got him. They tried. They rented Otto Porter Jr. 1 year. You know, that's basically the role he had Wiggins playing. Like, he got Wiggins. Wiggins is a guy who was a number one with Minnesota. He was a number one on a team with Zach LaVine. It was Zach LaVine, Wiggins, and Karl Anthony Towns at one point. And Wiggins was still the number one. So Wiggins is a, all-star level player, a number one who can get buckets. He got the Golden State, and the way that Steve Kerr saw Wiggins was in that Jordan Bell role. I'm going to play you at power forward. You're undersized. I know you're only 6'6", but I'm going to play you at power forward. And that's their system. My system is to get a undersized guy to play up to power forward. That way it creates some type of mismatch on offense for the opposing team. Right? So you have to be able to try to rebound with bigger guys. And you have to be able to defend bigger guys and then switch all the screens. Steve Kerr wants to switch every screen on defense. Switch every screen. You got to be able to guard big, smalls, whatever the case may be. I'm not mad at that. I like that. That's what OKC is doing as well. They're switching a lot, and their defenders are interchangeable. You know, some of their guards end up guarding big guys in the post. It is what it is, right? But that's his formula. He wants a guy like Jordan Bell to just do nothing but defend, run the floor like an athlete, try to rebound with bigs. You can't create your own offense at all. Jordan Bell didn't create offense for himself at all, but he got a lot of slashers and, you know, he got a lot of slips to the baskets and dunks and stuff like that. Every now and then he'll shoot a three. You know what I mean? I love them. Here's the issue. Jordan Bell, they get him as a rookie. Who knows what he can develop into? Who knows if he can develop into something better than that role? But if you want to stay on this Golden State Warriors team, this is the role you have to play. So that means you're not going to develop no other parts of your game. This is a rookie. This is not a guy like Iguodala, because that's the role Iguodala was playing off the bench. But Iguodala had already developed himself as a player in Philly, been a number 2 beside Iverson, and been a number 1 once Iverson left and went to Denver. And then he's gotten at least 1 or 2 good big contracts already. So he's got his money. He's tried for 8 years to be a number 2 and a number 1, and then decided, you know what, I already got my big contract. Let me go over here to Golden State. And then when Steve Kerr put him on the bench, he was like, you know what, I'm cool with it. Let's do it. I'll play power forward. You get what I'm saying? So it's different for when you get someone who already has proven themselves and already made their money and already developed their game to the best of their ability. It's cool to put them in a role like that, but to grab a guy fresh out of college and say, this is the only thing you can do here in Golden State, that hurts them, because what happens when Golden State don't re-sign you and you go out on the free agent market, your role is not good nowhere else, which is the reason why everyone says that if Draymond Green ever left Golden State, Steph Curry and that system, he's no good to nobody else. He cannot go and go get the same money somewhere else that he got in Golden State. Absolutely just cannot. And that's what happened to Jordan Bell. Jordan Bell, once he left Golden State, it was over. So Kevon Looney, they made Kevon Looney. I want y'all to go look at Kevon Looney's mixtape in UCLA and then look at what Golden State turned him into. He's not going to get another contract after this. Like, he left, he ended up going and I think he signed with New Orleans. He barely even get on the floor. Guess what's going to happen when his contract is up with New Orleans? He's not going to get a job. I mean, it just is what it is. Once you leave, once you let Steve Kerr reduce you to that role and you don't develop your game, nobody else can really use you. So what Kuminga was fighting is, I don't want to be Jordan Bell. I think Steve Kerr sat him down and said, this is how I see you. Look at the guys that we had in championship squads that did this. Jordan Bell, Iguodala, and he probably just started, Draymond Green, he probably just started naming people. He was like, oh, Wiggins did it. Why you can't do it? And Kuminga is saying, look, I think I can do more. And you need more. You need a number 2. Like, where else we go get points from? Let me rock a little bit too. I get a mouse in the house, let me go on the post. Let me take somebody. Like, I'm really quick. They can't stop me from getting to the basket. Why don't you want that? He's saying, no, I don't want you to do that. I want you to do what Jordan Bell did. Do what Jordan Bell did. Watch this Jordan Bell film. So I don't know if Kuminga or Kuminga's agent was telling Steve Kerr, that's not how I see my client. Or Kuminga was saying, that's not how I see myself. I do it to the best of my ability, but I'm telling you, I got something else planned. He probably would walk in the gym and see Kuminga working with a trainer on post-ups and probably would go to him and say, I don't know what you're working on that for. Like, you're never going to use that. Work on what I need you to work on for the system. That's the battle he was fighting. That's the battle Jonathan Kuminga was fighting, y'all. How Steve Kerr saw him versus how he saw himself was the clash. And Steve Kerr's ego, not ego like the animal, ego, Steve Kerr's ego dictated how he treated Kuminga. Because you got the audacity to tell me, who developed the system that won 4 championships around Steph Curry, and the role that I'm telling you to play, I've seen Wiggins do it, and we won with Wiggins, and I've seen Jordan Poole do it. I mean, not Jordan Poole. I've seen Jordan Bell do it, and we won it with Jordan Bell. And he's looking at this young 18, 19, 20-year-old, 21-year-old, you know, because this is probably when all that was happening. He's 23 now. So he between 18 and 23, he's looking at this dude tell him, I'm so much more than that. Like, I get what you're saying about this Jordan Bell. I get that's how you see me, but I'm so much more than that. Let me show you I'm so much more than that. And Steve Kerr just felt, you know, you have the audacity to question me. So it turned into, well, if you're not going to give in to my demands, then sit on this bench. I got this bench for you over here. And then when I bench you, he would always, you know, when everybody would ask him at the post game, like, what's going on with Jonathan Kuminga? Is he going to see any minutes and stuff like that? And, you know, he would always speak in code and basically saying stupid stuff like he got to earn it back. Yeah, he's got to earn it back. What all that stuff that he was saying was pretty much saying, once Jonathan Kuminga freaking say Kunta, because I keep whipping him, and I need him to say, I need him to change his, I'm trying to change his name to Toby, but he keeps saying Kunta. Once he say Toby, then he will earn it, and I'll put him back in the game. But what kept happening is Kuminga never would say Toby. He never would say Toby, and he'd just be riding on the bench, and he was like, I'm going to bet on myself. Yeah, keep benching me. And then every single time something would happen where they ain't had no choice but to put Kuminga in. Somebody would get hurt, and they'd be like, dang, we got to go to Kuminga. And every time Kuminga got in, he showed his giant hind parts, showed his whole entire African ass. Every single time. And then everybody was like, oh, my God, Jonathan Kuminga. John, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, dog, he can play like that. And then next thing you know, Jonathan Kuminga get a little bit too froggy and be like, man, hey, I really do believe in myself. I really do think I got more ability than what you using me as. And then Steve Kerr will be like, all right, so your name's still Kunta? All right, cool. Back to the bench. And Kuminga was like, okay, all right. I'm not going to say Toby. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying Toby. And he kept benching him. And then it got to the point where it was his contract year, which was last year. And Golden State was like, we want to keep Kuminga. He's very good. We picked him at the number 7 pick. We just can't waste that pick. But we got to get him for cheap because we got to pay Draymond and we want to bring in another starter to help Steph. So we got to pay them. And we just don't have the money. So we trying to get Jonathan Kuminga for cheap. All right. So they negotiated all season last year. And then when the deadline passed for them to come up with a deal, they benched Kuminga because it's like, okay, we don't have a deal. We didn't re-sign Kuminga because he wouldn't take less money in a team-friendly deal. So now he's going to go into free agency, which he was a restricted free agent, which means that whatever team offered him a qualifying offer, Golden State could match it. So they played the game of, well, there's no team that's going to offer him too much money if he's not valuable. And if we play him and he plays very well, he's going to be valuable to all the teams, and they're going to offer him what he's worth. So let's bench him. And therefore, when it comes free agency time, his agent don't have no bullets to fight for him. He's going to go to the negotiating table, and these teams are going to be like, dude, we ain't seen that dude play in 4 months. We don't know what he could do, number one. Number two, why is a player with that much athleticism and ability getting benched by Golden State and they're playing players is worse than him? That's a red flag. What's the issue? And Golden State somehow provided what the issue was by saying, and nobody would put a name on this. This has just come from some random reporter that say the talks around the camp is Jonathan Kuminga has a low basketball IQ. So now everybody, and the crazy thing about it, the way propaganda works, I was talking to my cousin earlier because somebody posted why Jonathan Kuminga didn't work in Golden State, and my cousin under the post commented that he has a low basketball IQ. I said, who told you that? Because everybody keeps repeating it. Who told you that? And he said, no one told me that. I was like, oh, you just came up with it. So you just watched the game and just saw low basketball IQ. And people don't even realize subconsciously that thought was placed in y'all head, because they are the Golden State Warriors are saying that. They're telling reporters that. Reporters are saying it, but people listen to so much content and do so much stuff on social media. They don't even, sometimes ideas get in your head that you only know where it came from. So this whole, he got a low basketball IQ. It's crazy how all of these people that watch basketball and NBA keep repeating that, and they don't even know where they got it from. That's how propaganda work. My cousin didn't even know that wasn't even the original thought in his head. That thought was put in his head. I just told him, I said, man, the subconscious works amazingly, don't it? You don't even think that you heard that nowhere. You think that you just came up with that by watching him play. That is amazing. And the reason why I know it's crazy is because he don't have a low basketball IQ. What Jonathan Kuminga is a guy that was raw talent. What rookie that you know at 18? I want you to think about what Jermaine O'Neal coming out of high school at 18 looked like, what Kevin Garnett looked like. I mean, people would say Kobe would shoot them air balls against Utah. People, like Dale Harris had an issue with Kobe's shot selection and IQ. He was trying to do too much. That's not low basketball IQ. That's just a high belief in yourself. He has a high belief in yourself, but some people are on teams where you can make all those mistakes that you want to. Like Cooper Flag, as young as he was, he looked not that good at the beginning of the season as a rookie. But Jason Kidd said, I'm gonna let you make all the mistakes you want to. Just because you make a mistake don't mean I'm gonna pull you out of the game and bench you for like 25 straight games. And play Quentin Post and Pop Minsky over you, and then tell people you got a low basketball IQ. Like, everybody questioned Jason Kidd about putting Cooper Flag at point guard. He was like, look, that's my process. I did it with Giannis. I put him at point guard and I let him sink or swim, and you're gonna learn something from it. But if someone really wanted to put the low IQ title on Cooper Flag, there's a lot of ammo you can use to say he got a low basketball IQ. But when you come in at 18, what is it? I mean, I don't understand what you expect a guy's thought processes to be amongst these grown men. So he comes in at 18. Not only is he 18, he's from the Congo. I mean, he did some high school years over here, but English is his second language. He speaks French and 2 other languages. So you come over here and you got to learn American culture on top of the English language, on top of professional basketball as an 18-year-old in a fast-paced organization like the Golden State Warriors, who had already had 3 championships. That's a heck of a learning curve at 18. I mean, if you want to compare a great that had a situation like that, let's compare Joel Embiid or Hakeem Olajuwon. Let's go Hakeem Olajuwon. He came here at 17, went to the University of Houston. Imagine if Hakeem would have went to the league first instead of going to college. So all the things that he was learning about America and about the English language and about basketball, he was a very raw product his freshman year at Houston as well. It took him a couple of years to actually become really good at Houston. And then he became really good, and then he went to the pros, and he came out averaging 20. But he went to the pros after, 3? Did he do 3 years at Houston? Maybe 4? I'm not sure. Let's say he did 4. So he shows up at Houston at 21. So the 3 years of development in American culture he did in college. The first 3 years of Jonathan Kuminga developing as just, the English language and the American culture, he had to do that in the league as an 18-year-old, not college. So it's a difference between Hakeem learning what's going on at Houston in college and Kuminga learning everything with the Golden State Warriors at the ages 18 or 17. So he had a lot that he had to learn. So yeah, he might be listening to somebody and look a little puzzled, like, because I'm not only trying to understand what you're saying basketball wise, I got to understand your English as well. Like, it's certain words y'all probably using. look, I was stationed in Japan one year, and my son played on a Japanese soccer team. Only American on the team. No, two. It was two of them. It was him and another Navy kid that was on there. It was two American kids on that team. None of those kids spoke English. So his whole teammate didn't speak English. One of the coaches had a little bit of English. But when they in huddles and timeouts, when he's telling about what their strategy is going to be and what their plays are, he's not speaking in English. I've never seen my son that lost on the soccer field. That was the first time I seen him like trying to figure it out, because he's not only as I'm trying to learn what we're doing on the field, I'm trying to learn what the hell what my coach is saying. And then my teammates can't even talk to me easy. If you would have just watched my son play soccer just that one time, just that season he played in Japan, it would have looked like he had a low soccer IQ. So these people are just insane and nuts. Like, what did this but I'm telling you, Golden State Warriors media, and I don't know if it came from the coaching staff, but someone fed them that information that his basketball IQ was low, because they could not find a justifiable reason why they was benching him. So to hide the fact that we're benching him because he would not commit to being Jordan Bell, and he think that he is Dominique Wilkins or Vince Carter or T-Mac. He wants to be one of those. He wants to be great, and we want him to be Jordan Bell. Look what Jordan Bell's at. Like, if he would have sat me down and said, "Man, look at Jordan Bell right here. This is how I see you," and I'd be like, "What Jordan Bell at now?" "Oh, he's out the league." Well, fuck no. Why the hell would I do that? Why would I set myself up to be out of the league? Are you fucking serious? I know you're fucking lying. That's what I would have told him, and I don't even curse. That's what I would have told him, right? So, yeah, I mean, the Warriors fumbled, courtesy of Steve Kerr. Courtesy of Steve Kerr. And the unique thing about that is the Warriors got to come to Atlanta to play the Hawks March 21st. Where we at now? March 2nd. So we got about 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks, where we get to see a showdown of Kuminga facing the Golden State Warriors, his former team. And Gilbert Arenas spoke about that.
I was excited to see Kuminga play, but Steve Kerr, I'm pretty sure. Like, it's one of those things where when Draymond Green subbed in for David Lee, who was an all-star player at the moment in time where they made the switch, but you didn't do it this time around to evolve that team. It is going to bite you moving forward, because, like, he's so young, he's so talented, and he's going to get better. He's only going to use what you did against him as fuel.
March 21st in Atlanta, Gil, the Warriors pull up to town.
Steve Kerr, I'm telling you, and I'm telling you as a hooper, don't double. Nah, don't double. Whoever was playing in front of him, check up. And he's going to barbecue the He's going to get all the shots, and I don't want to see no doubling. Because if you double, you look weak as a coach and as an organization. You said he was worth nothing. Don't come out and start doubling a player who ain't worth nothing. He's not worth nothing. You shouldn't even have a scout report on the dude. Who's about to get that? But that's all we want to know.
And look, and that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. March 21st, they get to play, right? If you're telling me this guy got low basketball IQ, he can't fit in my system, he's not good, he's not a star and all this stuff, we're seeing the opposite of that. We're seeing the opposite of that while he was in a Warriors uniform. We definitely seen the opposite of it now that the coach got a belief in him and letting him go out there and play the game that he loved, right? He's much better than both Thompson twins, in my opinion. Much better. Thompson twins might be better defenders, but he's right behind him as a defender. But as a player, he's developed way beyond them without getting the minutes. Like the Thompson twins start for Houston and the other one start for Detroit. they should be further along than Kuminga. They're getting more time on the floor, more minutes, and they're not getting yanked for every mistake they make. Kuminga has been getting played with for 5 years in Golden State, and this dude still developed past where the Thompson twins are. The Thompson twins, you can leave them wide open right now for a three. The one in Detroit won't even take the three. That's how bad they are at shooting, right? So we don't believe it. You can't tell us his IQ is low and then he's not good and he's not a star or he don't deserve minutes above Quentin Post, Podziemski, and a rookie that they got right now. I forgot his name. They got him playing over him. Moody. Like, are you serious? Them dudes couldn't save you when Steph got hurt. None of them. You had to bring Kuminga off the bench. But that's like if that ain't a Cinderella story. The one that y'all kept down there in the basement cleaning up all day and wouldn't let them come to the ball, that's the one that got all the talent. That's the one who the goat slipper fixed their foot. That's insane, right? So what Gilbert Arenas is saying is like when you play him, it's going to look bad because if you come out here and you got a game plan for him, if you're doubling him to get the ball out of his hand, if you have your best defender on him, right, any of those things are going to tell me you knew what you had the whole time. You knew he was good. If you put Draymond on him, who else? Oh, Gary Payton Jr. Those are the best defenders for Golden State. If you put one of them on Kuminga, that's telling me that you fear what he can do to y'all. And he's probably been whooping butt at practice all 5 years he was there. So if you put one of your best defenders on him, that's funny. If you double him to get the ball out of his hands, same thing. But if you don't do that, he's going to go off for 30 or 35 on you because you got to prove to me that every player that you was playing in front of him, all these players that was able to get minutes and he wasn't able to get minutes, you know what? Let me go down this roster because I think Podziemski averages the most minutes on this whole entire Golden State team. Right? You gotta prove on March 21st, Podziemski has to prove 100% that he's better than Jonathan Kuminga. So does Moses Moody. Let me name all these dudes. What is the Warriors roster? All these dudes got to outscore Kuminga. Not one of them, all of them. And then they got to shut him down as well. Right? Draymond Green, he needs to outplay Kuminga. Moses Moody needs to outplay Kuminga. Gary Payton Jr. needs to outplay Kuminga. Brandon Podziemski needs to outplay. Quentin Post needs to outplay him. Will Richards, Santos, Pat Spencer, all them dudes need to take turns guarding him one-on-one with no double. You need to stop him, and then you need to go on the other end, and everybody that Kuminga is guarding, whoever Kuminga is guarding need to go for 30. I don't care who he's guarding. I don't care if he guards Pod, Quentin Poe, whoever he guards needs to be able to score on Kuminga. Every last one. Like you have to show me what Steve Kerr was saying at practice. Show me that when you line these guys up, that what you see at practice is Kuminga's not ready to get on the floor, but Quentin Post is. Kuminga's not ready to get on the floor, but Will Richards is. And I like Will Richards. Will Richards can ball. I like him. He's a rookie. He can hoop. But I need to see him absolutely destroy Kuminga. I mean, because I remember it was one game where the Warriors was blown out. The whole fourth quarter was garbage time. None of the starters played the fourth quarter. Everybody on the team got in the game and got more than 5 minutes. The only person who didn't even take his warm-up off was Kuminga. So you have to explain to me, if it was about basketball, why he wasn't getting in during garbage time, but everyone else did. And the reporters asked Steve Kerr at the post game, and he gave some word salad and explained it the way. I'm like, dude, That is insane to me. So it's not about basketball. Like if it's garbage time, y'all losing by 20, you put everyone in the game except one guy. That's clear and obvious that it's not about basketball. Because what was he going to hurt by getting in the game during garbage time? It was clear that you was punishing him for something. And you're punishing him because he would not say Toby. That's why you're punishing him. Let's be real about that. I'm gonna open the phone lines up, man, and then I'm gonna get into some of these comments really quick. Kuminga was better than Green and all the Warriors. I agree. None of them can go. Yeah, none of them none of them are going to be able to go at Kuminga like that. March 21st gonna be a movie. You do not need Don King to sell this fight right here. You are not gonna need Don King. I wouldn't even be surprised if Jonathan Kuminga sit out the game before that game just to make sure he don't twist the ankle or something. We got somebody from Atlanta calling, man. I want to hear what they think about everything. You got VC, man, what's popping, man? How y'all feeling down there in ATL?
Bro, we loving them, man. Come on, what? Bro, listen, dog. Kristaps Porzingis came to Atlanta. I'm thinking, okay, we gonna look good. This man don't play. You know, they making some jokes about him right now. I ain't gonna say it on air. I don't want to get you demonetized or nothing crazy like that. But the fact we was able to trade Kristaps Porzingis for that, bro, I can't, bro. I'm still losing my mind right now, man. Man, Mike Dunleavy, thank you, sir. Steve Kerr, thank you, sir. Man, look here, bro. I hope we can keep him. I hope we can keep him for the long run. And then in this draft, oh my goodness. Listen, man, we need to try to get Michael Brown, Darius Acuff, one of these hot guards. Hey, maybe Darren Peterson was slipped to us. I don't know, but hey, look here, man. Jonathan Kuminga, hey man, I'll go get his jersey right now, man. He need to stay in Atlanta we need to lock him down with Jalen Johnson.
Yeah. Now, why is the buzz and the excitement so high for Kuminga right now? But y'all got an all-star and Jalen Johnson. Are y'all more excited about Kuminga than y'all are Jalen Johnson?
Oh, no. I wouldn't say that, bro. Jalen Johnson's still the one in Atlanta. I think it's just seeing something new, bro. You know, right now, you know, emotions is high with Trey being gone. So,
yeah,
you know, like we just trying to see what's going to be the next step going into the future.
You know, I actually think Kuminga's better than Jalen Johnson.
You know what? I ain't mad at it, bro. Because like, see, when I look at Jalen Johnson, I kind of see him more so like he reminds me of Bron in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then with Jonathan Kuminga, man, he you know, like he an athlete. He got his ways of scoring to where, you know, like you said, old school, like them Allen Houston type boys, man. Let me get 1 or 2 dribbles, pull up in your face, post up, you know. So I definitely like the way he doing it, but like, man. Hey, man, I just like both of them together on that wing, bro. It's going to be like, if we can get out of this play-in, bro, and start actually becoming a real perennial playoff team of like yesteryear when I first started watching the Hawks, man, I'm satisfied, dog.
Yeah, y'all going in the right direction for sure, man. And like you said, man, they get Kuminga where he's actually a talent. He's someone who's been in the playoffs with, you know, with a contending team. You've been to the finals. He's seen all that. He got some experience. He's polished, way more polished than people give him credit for. He's polished. Like when you see him on the floor, he looks like a difference maker. He looked like a better player. Like the way he communicating. I watch how he move on defense, all of that stuff, man. I'm watching everything, body language. Like the dude, man, this was a steal, dog. Y'all got someone that's a potential all-star, and y'all already got an all-star. So yeah, this you can build around this, man. I think the most exciting teams in the East right now, you know, of course you got the contenders, which is Detroit, maybe Boston, but the most exciting teams in the East looking in the future is the Atlanta Hawks and the Charlotte Hornets. So y'all
I knew you was gonna say Charlotte, bro.
Yeah, y'all got something, man. But let me take this call from Mississippi, man. Thanks for the call.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Caller from Mississippi, what's up?
Hello.
Yo, what's up? What's good? What's your thoughts?
I wanted to just say, great show. I appreciate all your videos, and I just wanted to make a quick comment about Kuminga.
All right, go ahead.
Are we on the air?
Yeah, you live.
Oh, okay. You know who he actually reminds me of? And it's not Dominique. He actually reminds me of Jordan.
Okay.
Particularly the young Jordan when he first got into the league. The first game he had last Tuesday, that was some rookie year Jordan type stuff.
Yeah.
Probably, maybe with a better jumper. What do you think about that? Am I off base? Am I tripping? Or can you see it too?
So Jordan came into the league when he was 22, and I'm thinking about the jumper he had at because Kuminga's 23. I would say Michael Jordan's jumper probably was similar to Kuminga where he's at now. I would say that. But what Jordan jump shot got to, later on was, it was automatic later on. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if Kuminga got
next level.
Yeah. So if Kuminga keep putting that work in, yeah, it could get there. He don't have a he don't have a horrible form. He got something funky going on at the top of his jump shot with his follow through. So it's a little different. It's not as smooth as Jordan's was, but I'm still good with the Dominique comparison.
I've never seen a fan base and an organization just set out to destroy one of their young prospects. Because I have the league pass. I'm in DC. And the announcers for the other teams spoke more highly of JK than the Warriors announcers
Correct.
do.
Correct.
They always try to give him backhanded compliments. Like,
Yep.
oh, you could do that more often.
Yep.
Listen, and this Pajimski, I'm not trying to take it here, but I've seen a guy make a layup and the announcer say, oh, Pod, see, he ran to the right location. Mr. Plus Minus. How about that? And I'm thinking, am I living in some kind of alternate? Am I living in some kind of alternate reality here? But the radio station that covers the Warriors, all of them hate JK.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they criticize every aspect of his game.
Yeah. But
I've never seen this before. Huh?
They don't have a mind of their own, though. Just because you work at a sports radio station don't mean you have a sports mind. So they really, these guys are trained journalists. They're really trained to get their information from the sources. And the sources was probably telling them that, but the problem is the sources are the sources are feeding them BS because they're trying to hide what the truth is. Plus,
I'm tripping.
Plus they was trying to bring Kuminga's value down so they can sign him for cheap.
No, you don't. I'm a Generation Xer, so I remember all this when I was a kid. If you think I'm tripping, go. I don't know how old you are. I'm probably a little bit older. Go into the YouTube and type in 84 Olympics Jordan highlights.
Okay.
And tell me if they don't remind you of JK. It's
okay.
The same damn player. I've been telling people this for years, and people told me I was crazy. I'm so glad this kid is off this team. But if Moses Moody and Will Richards are asking to get off this team this summer, that's on them. So they just have to take whatever comes with it.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that Will Richards kid hit a three, and Steve Kerr, he looked like it was like the worst thing ever. Meanwhile, once again, I'm not trying to say anything. Pajimski just jacks up brick after brick after brick. He's like, yeah, great job. He hustles. See, he hustles. So you all can read it.
Yeah.
You all read into that for what you will. I just want to say thank you. I've been watching your videos, and type in that 84 Olympics Jordan highlights and tell me if you don't see that in this kid. I'm not making this up. I've seen it with my own eyes. That's why I like the kid.
Yeah. All right, man. I'll take a second look at it for sure.
Oh, okay. All right. Have a good one. Great show, my man.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. He's right. Moses Moody and Real Richards and whoever else need to get up out of there. It's the same reason why DiVincenzo didn't re-sign with them. As a matter of fact, DiVincenzo had a player option. And I remember after the season, it was the season that Jordan Poole got punched out. And they lost in the playoffs, and they wasn't able to defend their championship. And I remember DiVincenzo was having an interview, and they was asking him what his plans was, and he said, I have a player option. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but he ended up declining his player option and going to go sign with. Who did he sign with? Did he sign with New York? I think he signed with New York. Right. So another thing he said in that interview is that he said that Jordan Poole was the closest friend he had on the Warriors. He said him and Jordan Poole was like this. So what he didn't say is how he felt about the situation of him getting knocked out, Draymond Green not getting punished, and then they eventually trading Jordan Poole after the season, pretty much blaming him for the playoff failure and saying that, the locker room was split and the locker room was jacked up and blah. They pretty much like if the locker room is jacked up and that's the reason why you lost, what you usually would do is you would get rid of the reason why the locker room is jacked up. So the fact that they end up getting rid of Poole and then giving a contract extension to Draymond signaled to everyone that Poole was the problem. I also remember when Jordan Poole during a game, Steve Kerr called the timeout. Draymond, Curry, and Poole is walking to the bench, and Draymond is trying to talk to Jordan Poole about where he needs to be or whatever, or something that he needed to do, and Jordan Poole was ignoring him. And Draymond's hands was tied behind his back because, dude, I'm walking on pins and needles right now. Like, I'm trying to do right. I know I punched him out. I embarrassed him. I knocked him out. I crossed some lines as a teammate. So he wasn't his usual self. Like he wasn't going to grab him and be like, no, you need to listen to me. He wasn't going to make a scene because he was trying to play good cop after what he did. Right. And I guess that had been an issue all season long. You could see it because they was dropping games left and right. You could tell the locker room was not right and the locker room was split and the team wasn't together. But I remember when the cameras caught Steph Curry going over to Jordan Poole saying, this ain't helping. Like, come on, man, this ain't helping. Right. So imagine Jordan Poole. I'm the one who got knocked out on camera and it leaked to the public. I'm the one who had to heal my face. I'm the one who got swung on by a supposed brother like I was a freaking stranger that had his mom hostage or something. Like you hit me with all the force of the ancestors. Like you hit me with everything you had based on us chirping at practice, at training camp after we won the title. Like, why is your emotion so high during training camp months after we won the title and we're at training camp? We ain't even played a game. We're not on a 5-game losing streak. Like, why is your emotions that high? Well, that was necessary. And the reason being is because Jordan Poole played himself into a contract situation that he knew he was going to get because he earned it. And it was also the same year that Draymond Green contract was being negotiated. And he knew that I'm going to get less money because Jordan Poole is going to get the money. That's why his emotions were so high. But my point is this. DiVincenzo was very close to Jordan Poole. He seen that situation go the way it went. And as a result, Draymond Green's punishment was, you can go home, take the rest of training camp off, which is us really running and getting everybody in shape and installing new plays if we have them. That's a grueling part, training camp. Let's whip everybody in shape before the preseason. They really gave Draymond Green a vacation as a punishment. Hey, take these next 2 weeks off where they claim away from the team. Now we got to get you away from the team. But that wasn't a punishment because he got to relax and get an extra couple of weeks of relaxing, and then opening night was the ring night. Draymond Green came back for ring night, so he didn't even miss a game or a paycheck. He came back for ring night. So imagine Jordan Poole. I get knocked out. I get done wrong. He gets no punishment. The punishment you try to pretend like he was getting came back for ring night. That's just like if I punish my kids and say, let's say I got a Disney World trip planned for Christmas. And then I pay for the Disney World trip ahead of time, but my kid bring a bad report card home. And I'm like, dang, I'm talking. I'm like, yo, I'm talking to myself. I already paid for the Disneyland trip. If I take that, like, I would really drive the point home if I take away that Disney World trip. That's gonna really drive the point home. But I don't want to do that because I already paid for it. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna go ahead and put them on punishment for a week, and then the punishment would end the day we're supposed to go to Disney. So my kid is probably thinking like, oh my God, I brought this bad report card home. I know that Disney trip is canceled. And I tell them, no, you still going to Disney. You just can't go outside the 4 or 5 days before, and you on punishment until we into the Disney trip. I take you off punishment the day of the Disney trip, lets you know that I'm not serious about punishing you. Draymond Green getting quote on, he didn't even get suspended because a suspension would mean you missing paychecks. They said you got to be away from the team, but you get to come back opening night for ring ceremony, and you get to play, and you get to start. So Jordan Poole was like, what the? And then everybody who's cool with Jordan Poole, Wiggins, DiVincenzo, all of those guys, the newer guys, I want you to think about how Wiggins' care factor dropped after the Jordan Poole situation. Google everything that happened with Andrew Wiggins after that. Remember, he missed a whole bunch of games that season. And it was supposedly to do something with a family issue. I don't know, it was his dad. There was a rumor that it might have been with his spouse. But it was a family issue that he missed a lot of time with the team. DiVincenzo decided not to pick up his player option. Kevon Looney wasn't the same after that. So that locker room that was split based on the people who rolled with Draymond. It was like, hey, we've been here with Draymond from day one. And it was the people like, nah, I'm not cool with how that went down, and he didn't get no punishment. That makes no sense to me. So DiVincenzo got away from the situation. Kevon Looney eventually got away from the situation. And Chris Middleton, Chris Middleton was involved in that trade that sent him to Dallas. And Dallas is not going to be a playoff team this year. So as far as the players that was supposed to be getting bought out and signing with a playoff or at least a contender, Chris Middleton's name came up. And so he had an opportunity. He had a lot of interest from Denver, from what I'm reading. Denver had a lot of interest in him. And Chris Middleton was like, nah, I'd rather not. Because no one wants to go into situations that, this Golden State situation, the Denver situation, and the Lakers situations are the top 3 most toxic situations that I wouldn't want to be a part of. Most toxic. And we'll get on the Jokic thing a little bit later, but those are the most toxic situations in the NBA. Wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. But since we're talking about Denver, did they lose 2 games in a row? They lost to Minnesota. They lost to OKC. Yeah, they lost 2 in a row. So they've had. I think Jokic has been back for 13 games. They've lost 8 of them. They've lost 8 out of the 13 games Jokic has been back for, and I think there's a reason for that. But They've had a 3-game losing streak. They right now on a 2-game losing streak. And they play who they play tonight. Do they play tonight? I know the Warriors play tonight. They play the Clippers. I don't think Denver plays tonight. But yeah, they're not doing so well. They're not doing so well. And the not the Mavericks, but they're playing Utah. They're in the second quarter right now. And Utah is tanking. And if they go to Utah and lose to Ace Bailey, they're not. So if they listen, they're not playing Jaren Jackson Jr. They're not. Walker Kessler is hurt. Kevin Love is not playing. Lauri Markkanen is not playing. Yusuf Nurkic is not playing. They're playing young guys, and they're being led by George and Ace Bailey. If the Nuggets come in here and lose to Ace Bailey, I know something. If the Warriors come in, if the Nuggets come in here and lose to Ace Bailey, I know something, man. I can't wait to end this live so I can go watch that. Because I like Ace Bailey. So that's gonna be an interesting game to watch. So where was I at? So Massive Gamer, what's up? You missed a lot, man. You're catching on the playback though. But the Denver Nuggets, the Jokic fans and the Nuggets fans, they have a formula, and that formula, is when the Nuggets play, and if they win, everyone who creates content around Denver Nuggets, the Denver sports media and all of that stuff, what they do is they come in and they take Jokic's stat line and they just glaze it and give him all the credit for the win. They might credit someone else that played good. They happy, right? But if the Nuggets lose, they have a couple of objectives. One, we have to figure out who we're blaming for this loss. And it can be the coach. It could be the co-star in Murray. It could be the role players, or it can be the bench. Right. So, or it can be all of them. But one person that's not going to get any blame is Nikola Jokic. I've heard one content creator say that he's above, and he didn't just say this. This was the title of his video. He said Nikola Jokic is above criticism, which means he should never get critiqued. I don't know how you become above criticism. I have no clue. Not even the GOAT is above criticism. I blame him for that Orlando loss when he came back wearing 45. He was not quite himself. I watched that series and I'm like, man, how is he letting Nick Anderson rip him at half court with the game on the line? That pissed me off. I thought the Michael Jordan that I knew was done. I thought I was never going to see him again. You get what I'm saying? Now, if the media would have came out and just dissolved him from every wrongdoing and blamed everyone else for that loss, if they would have blamed Pippen, blamed B.J. Armstrong, blamed Phil Jackson, blamed the referees, blamed everybody. If they would have blamed everybody and said Michael Jordan is perfect and above reproach and above criticism, he probably wouldn't have went back and worked on his game so much and came back as the Michael Jordan that we once knew, but even better. That's why you get honest and tell people what's really going on and critique players for real, because it makes them better. You have to critique these players. As a matter of fact, you should be critiquing the players you like the most. You should never sugarcoat it with them. You have to tell them that the baby is ugly when the baby is ugly. If you don't tell me the baby is ugly and I go out there and put them in all types of pageants, somebody at some point is going to tell me the baby is ugly. It might as well be in-house. Don't have me out here looking silly thinking I got somebody that's going to win a pageant and they not. The baby's ugly, just tell me it's ugly. It's not going to hurt. It can only help. What's up, X-Man? It can only help, right? So, but that's their formula. How can we figure out a way to say this is not Jokic's fault, and who can we blame for it? Now, here's the issue. Even the games you win, but especially the games you lose, you can always go down the line and figure out someone to blame. No one plays perfect and great every game. So, listen, let's put it this way. I'm going to throw something on screen. This is a graphic that came up during the 96 finals. And I think the 96 finals might have been the year they played Seattle. If they played Seattle 96, Utah 97, Utah 98. Yeah, so I think this is the Seattle Seahawks finals. This is a graphic that came up during a game 6, which was the closeout game. And they was telling the audience the help that Michael Jordan had been getting in the finals, and they was leading in that finals, and they won it 4-2. The game, they closed it out during this game. Look at the top. Steve Kerr, who's known as a three-point shooter. That's all he's known for. They were giving him 19 minutes a game in that series. They was relying on him. This three-point shooter was 3 for 20 and averaging 5 points a game. This is a three-point shooter that we rely like we need his three-point ability in this triangle offense. That's all. Like it's not a whole lot of spacing that we use in the triangle. So the guys that we have in the corner or on the arc, they got to be feared. Because if not, the help is just going to help way too deep on the shooters. But this dude, Steve Kerr, was giving them. He gave Michael Jordan 3 for 20. This is the best I can give you in 5 games. In 5 games, I hit 3 threes. I shot 20 of them. Right. Then you look at the middle, Scottie Pippen. He was 32. I say 33. 33% from the field. He was 33% from the field. Your number 2 option was giving you 15 points in the finals through 5 games and was 6 of 30 from 3, 6 of 32 from 3. If Jamal Murray was giving Jokic 15 points a game, Jamal Murray is giving Jokic 25 points a game. If Murray was giving Jokic 15 points a game, do you know what Jokic fans would be saying about him? It'd be diabolical. But my number 2 scoring option is giving me 15 points on 33% field goal shooting and 6 of 32. Then you look at Ron Harper. This is my starting point guard. He had a good game in game 1 and 2. Getting 15 to 12 points, that's good for Ron Harper because he wasn't out there for his points at that point of his career after all those knee surgeries. He still played good defense. He was still 6'6" with long arms in the passing lane. You know, it was a great phenomenon to have 6'6" Ron Harper, 6'6" Michael Jordan, and 6'8" Scottie Pippen on the perimeter, and all 3 of them are defensive-minded players. That was a great luxury to have. And then you had Dennis Rodman. So all them dudes, if they wanted to, could switch, but they didn't do a lot of switching back then off screens. But he got a game 3 of 0 points, a game 2 of 2 points. I mean, a game 4 of 2 points, and a game 5 of 0 points. So that's the supporting cast for the GOAT Michael Jordan. Have you ever heard of people complaining about his supporting cast? Because all I hear about his supporting cast is he's got one of the greatest, because Steve Kerr's 3-point percentage is like up there at the top all time. So the way the kids that didn't watch, the people that was born after this and who didn't watch that in real time, when they hear that, they think that Michael Jordan just had Steph Curry out there with him. So they be like, oh, he had the greatest 3-point shooter of all time on his team. Hold your horses, right? You know what I mean? That's the type of stuff they say. Oh man, Ron Harper was this. this is the type of stuff they say, but they never really looked into it because they didn't watch these things live in real time like we did, right? But at the end of the day, there's no excuses needed to be made. Like, you lose a game, you lose a series, you don't blame the role players, you blame the leader. If I'm in charge, if I'm the leader, how can I bypass the leader to find someone else to put the blame on? That's not how accountability works. Accountability starts from the top. Accountability doesn't start from the bottom. It starts from the top. I don't go to a failing company and come into the office and say, okay, you're the president, but I'm not going to put no blame on you. Take me to the fucking mail room. Because the mail room is the reason why your business is failing. Somebody down there messed up. That's not how accountability happens. That's what Jokic fans do. They come in and they say, why did we lose this game? Bypass Jokic. Let's start going to the role players. Let's go to the bench. What kind of leaders are y'all when y'all think like that? Y'all can't lead a daggone pack of wolves to meat thinking like that. I wouldn't follow you. I wouldn't follow you. Who thinks like that? Let's come in and just totally bypass the leader and go down to the bottom to find out where our problem is at. Who raised y'all? Who thinks like that? Like, that is insane. Right? So anyway, here's the real issue with the Denver Nuggets. There's a system that I like to think of in my head of teams that succeed and how I look at teams. And I use the Bulls, for example, again, right? Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, triangle offense, right? So follow me this. This is how I think about it. Every team has a star player, their best player. And with this formula, when you have your best player, his co-star and role players, right? Best player plus co-star and role players, plus the system. Whatever you get out of that tells me the whole thing about that formula, right? So with Michael Jordan, you got Michael Jordan is your best player, Scottie Pippen and the role players, you can name them all, Scottie and the role players, plus Michael Jordan, plus the triangle offense equals 6 championships, 6-0 in the finals, had the record for the best record in the league, 72 wins? 72 wins, you know, all that. That's a lot of success wrapped around Jordan as the best player, Scottie as the co-star with role players, plus the triangle, right? So if that is a failure, you got to look at one of those things. So when Michael Jordan came back wearing number 45 from baseball and they lost to Orlando in the second round, Penny, Shaq, Horace Grant, whoop they tail, Dennis Scott, David Royal, Nick Anderson, they put it on them. So when they lost to that and you look at that formula, well, the triangle offense wasn't the issue. That, you know, that's been working for a long time. I mean, they three-peated with that triangle offense. Scottie Pippen and role players was cool. You know, I mean, you didn't have Horace Grant, so you didn't really have someone to replace Horace Grant. That's why they went out and got Dennis Rodman. They was like, we need somebody that's gonna be able to rebound. Like, we got out rebounded, right? So maybe we can make the role player a little bit stronger. But when you look at the best player, he wasn't right either. So the biggest issue that was going on with that formula, it wasn't the system, it wasn't the triangle offense. It was they was missing a piece for their role players. They needed rebounding, and Michael Jordan wasn't quite Michael Jordan. That's honesty. So when you come back, you add Rodman, the role players are good to go. Scottie Pippen and the role players are good to go. Jordan comes back better than ever, and then the system, all systems will go, and they go out and three-peat again. That's how I look at it. Same thing. Kobe and Pau Gasol with the triangle offense. Kobe was on his best behavior. Pau Gasol is the co-star and the role players they had, Lamar Odom, Shannon Brown, all those guys. And, 1 year they had Ron Artest, you know what I mean? And then the triangle offense. That's how you look at it. Same thing with Tim Duncan and Popovich's system. And then the role players that he had with Tony Parker as the co-star, and then the role players with Ginobili and all that. When you look at that, when it's working, all those three entities are working at its best. That's how you look at it. If it's not working, you got to look at those three entities. What's going on in Denver is they got the math wrong. You got Jokic as your best player. And they say he's the best player in the league. So whenever you have the best player in the league, you should be doing a lot of damage as far as how often you're getting to the finals, how many times you're winning the finals and all that stuff, man. Deep playoff runs and all that. Best player in the league in their prime, right? That's what Jordan, Duncan, Shaq, Kobe, all of them was that at some point. What they got in common is multiple rings, multiple appearances in the finals, multiple years that they had the best record in the league and all that stuff. Right now, the formula seems weird because they think they got the best player in the league, but what they don't have is the results of multiple finals appearances, multiple rings, multiple years with the best record in the league. So what's wrong with the formula? So is it Jokic? Is it the role players and the co-star, Jamal Murray and the role players, or is it the system? And in my opinion, I think Jamal Murray and the role players are good to go. I think they've always been good to go, unless they was hurt. But when they're healthy, they've been good to go. That's a good group put around Jokic. Jamal Murray is a 25-point per game type player, and so was Michael Porter Jr. when he was here. And then Aaron Gordon, the 15 points Scottie Pippen was giving Michael Jordan against Seattle in the finals, Aaron Gordon gets that in his sleep. And he was he the third option or the fourth option? I can't tell. We know Jamal is the second option. Between last year when Michael Porter Jr. was here, who was the third option? Gordon or Michael Porter Jr.? I don't know. Right? So I don't think there's an issue with the role players and the co-star. I don't think it's an issue with Jokic. I think Jokic is just solid. I just don't think he's the best player in the world. I don't think he's the best player in the league, but he's top 3 for sure. So I don't think it's an issue with him. He's playing at a high level. So it must be the system. The system is failing them. Why haven't we seen any year that he was able to lead them to the best record in the league? How come he has not been back to the finals? You get that one time, it's a fluke. Charles Barkley got that one time. He didn't win it like Jokic did, but he got that one time. Iverson got that one time. Allen Houston led a team that one time. Reggie Miller led a team that one time. Dirk Nowitzki got there twice. He won one. Garnett got there twice. He won one. Karl Malone got there twice and didn't win. So when we look at these guys that are great players, that are the GOATs, we're seeing the results of multiple rings and multiple finals appearances and multiple years with the best record in the league. And you go grab all the GOATs, Duncan, Magic, Bird, Kareem, Jordan, Kobe, Shaq, Hakeem, when you name all those guys, all of them will have this in common. Multiple rings, multiple finals appearances, multiple years with the best record in the league. You're going to find it. But then when you get the Jokic, you're not going to find that. When you get the Giannis, you're not going to find it. So the notch under the GOATs are the Barkleys, the Malones, the Dirk Nowitzkis, the Garnetts. Those guys. Those guys get there one time and taste success once time. Iverson put him up there as well. So the GOAT level is something totally different. They want to put Jokic in GOAT level, so their math is wrong. They can't. The reason why they can't figure out why they're not winning is because they see Jokic as something that he's not, and they know that guys that are on the level that they see Jokic as actually win a lot. So why isn't Denver winning a lot? If Jokic is one of the Duncans and the Hakeems and the Shaqs and the Jordans and the Kobes, if Jokic is one of those guys, how come we not getting the same results as those guys? It's because he's not one of those guys. So the math on Jokic is wrong, and the system that they're playing in is the problem. You cannot have a system to, well, my 6'11", 497-pound center is my point guard, and my point guard posts up more than Jokic, honestly. My point guard can't even play point guard. So my system is Jokic get to bring the ball up, initiate the offense, and then stand right here in the middle at the top of the key, stand right up there and call for the ball again, hold it like a loaf of bread, and then watch everybody just do off-ball screens and split cuts. And then I try to get a pass backdoor or some type of lob or something like that. And if that don't work, because usually what happened is somebody go down on the down screen. Let's say Murray is in the corner while Jokic is at the top of the key holding the loaf of bread. Christian Brian goes down on the down screen to get the free up Murray. If they switch on the down screen, then Christian Brian can turn and pin the guy he just screened, and then Jokic could throw the ball down there, and that's an easy assist for him, right? If they don't switch, then and they chase off the screen, then Murray comes off that down screen and circles around into a handoff. Sometimes a dribble handoff, sometimes just a regular handoff, where the guy's chasing him around that screen, and then Jokic hands it off and then screens him again, and then that's an easy assist because Murray just pulls up for that. That's their entire offense. And then if that doesn't work, if they can't get a shot off of that, let's say that the defender is trailing too close, and I'm not gonna be able to get that handoff off. I just raise it up, don't hand it off, and then now Murray just goes off into the other side of the corner, and then Jokic plays one-on-one and try to back somebody down all the way from the three-point line and do something fat in the air and get his shot off. That's their entire offense. And then what they do is say, when Jokic will be like, all right, your turn, Murray. Now Murray got to play one-on-one and get his 25 points. And they just take turns. Murray play one-on-one. They play off him going ISO. And then they do that, whatever Jokic spamming his assists to pad his assist numbers. And what's really going on is that was cool, but there's a couple of things that wears out really quick, because people start to get tired of playing in that system, especially when Jokic was missing for 16 games, and we were able to see that we could be successful in a different system. When Murray was running the point guard, there was more more freedom for people like Peyton Watson and backups like Pickett and Zeke Naji, even Big Val. Like, all of these people had way more freedom to do things because Murray is the point guard, really running the offense as the point guard. Sometimes he can come off the ball, but we're going to allow Peyton Watson to use his ball skills, his ISO ball skills, his mid post. Like, Peyton Watson was getting to it. And everybody was like, golly, this man playing like a freaking he was averaging about 23 points a game. Just out of nowhere, as soon as Jokic sit down, okay, I'm going to show y'all what I could do. He hitting threes, pull-up jump shots. He's getting in the post. He's still slashing, but everybody didn't know he had a bag. Oh, my God, he got a bag? He can do all of that? Yes, he can do all of that. So we found out real quick. I already knew. Y'all didn't. But we found out real quick it was unnecessary for Denver to play the way they had been playing. Like, Denver Nuggets and Jokic fans thought that they had to play triple-double basketball because nobody they claim nobody on the Nuggets can get their own shot. They even told me last year that Michael Porter Jr. couldn't get his own shot. So I'm like, man, y'all can't really believe that. Like, these guys can hoop. It's not that they can't get their own shot. It's just that the offense don't allow them to dance like that. They have to play that spam Jokic and spam his assists and let him do something fat in the air in the paint. That's their offense. And everybody else is, we don't get the ball until Jokic gives it to us. All we do is set screens, run, and try to, do these dribble hand. Like, that's what is insane. And what's going on is they're tired of playing in that system. And once they got a taste, it's like once you go black, you don't go back. Once they got a taste of the real deal with Jamal Murray and no Jokic, and was like, oh, this is, we could win this way, and we don't even have the big fella. What happens if the big fella comes back and they continue to play the way they was playing when he was out? They just add Jokic and say, Jokic, okay, look, we like how we distribute the ball. We like the way we played when you was out, when Murray was running the point and running the show, like Tony Parker was doing for the San Antonio Spurs. What we want you to do is don't worry about the assists no more, unless you're getting double team in the post, and then that's when you can do your thing. But we're not running the offense through you at the top of the key no more. Right? So what I want you to do is we want you to concentrate on dominating your matchup offensively when you get the ball in the post or whenever you get the ball. We just want you to score 30 a night. And we're going to take the concentration and the load off of you of running the offense and give that to Murray so you can concentrate more on defense. So now you become a dominant scorer and a dominant defender. Don't worry about distributing the ball. We got a point guard for that and a backup point guard. Don't worry about it. We don't need thanks, but no thanks. We don't need that no more. We're trying to win a championship, not an MVP. Because one of these ways that they play, one of them is more conducive for winning games, and the other one is more conducive to winning MVPs. I'll let you guess which one is more conducive for the MVPs. It's the one that spams his assists. So you let me know when you start to look at all the other bigs that didn't play like this, why are they getting more rings than Jokic if Jokic is better than them? And the only reason why people think he's better than Jokic or Jokic is better than everybody is because of his stats. And the only reason why he's getting those stats is because they're running that stupid ass offense. And the players aren't ready to run through a brick wall no more for that offense because it only serves Jokic. The offense doesn't serve the team, it serves Jokic. And it's hard to get them to buy in, especially after they've seen what they're capable of and the world have seen it. It's kind of hard for them to put that toothpaste back in the tube. They can't go back to triple-double basketball. They're doing it because the coach is telling them to do it, but they're doing it reluctantly. Right? You ever got domed from a girl that didn't want to give it to you? It don't hit the same. Or you ever got some food cooked for you when they didn't want to cook it for you and they don't make it with love? Right? You ever ask somebody for a piece of their hamburger and they don't want to give it to you? And they break it off, and when they give it to you, here. It don't taste the same. After somebody say here and get that cheeseburger to you, it don't taste the same after they say just here, just take it. Oh man, it ain't even good, man. You know what I mean? I don't even know if I want to eat it now. That's how they're running the Denver Nuggets triple-double offense, or not the Denver Nuggets, the Jokic offense. They're running the Jokic off. All right, man, we'll do it. And it's showing because they're not 100% bought in no more. They're not all in on it. They're not all in on it, dog. They'd rather be somewhere else. I don't want to play this offense, man. Jokic got another triple-double. Okay, all right, we lost. We lost 8 out of the last 13. Come on, dog. We lost to the Warriors with no Steph, no Draymond, no Al Horford, no Kuminga, no Butler. We lost the Pod. Come on, dog. Yeah. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Hey, let me get a piece of that cheeseburger. Dang, man, here, man. God, Lee, you always begging. Man, I don't even want it no more, though. I ain't gonna taste good. All right, man. I remember I used to, back in the day when my sister used to come home with like some juice or something like that. Man, let me get some of your juice. Oh my God. She used to, I don't know, you got to be real hood to know about this, but when they take the top off the drink and because you ain't about to put no backwash in my bottle. They take the top off and they pour a little squig of it in the top and give you the top. And the whole time they be like, golly, here, man, you always begging, get some. That man never tastes good. Like when somebody here, man, it's never good. And that's what they doing with the Denver Nuggets triple double Jokic centric offense. Don't nobody want to run it but Jokic. Don't nobody want to run it but Jokic, man. I don't even think Adam. No, you know what? Dave Adams might want to run it because he's a puppet. Like I've never seen a coach with balls take over for a coach and run the same offense that coach ran. That right there shows me I don't have a leader leading my men. You mean to tell me you don't have your own identity? Well, we might as well have kept up. So that shows me that they didn't fire Mike Malone because something needed to change. They fired Mike Malone for personality. So Dave Adams got the coaching job based on his personality was different from Mike's. Mike is the bad cop. We want to fire the bad cop and hire the good cop. So now you got somebody that's more nice to the players and is going to let them get a little bit more leeway, but he didn't change nothing. You get what I'm saying? Everybody got their own identity. Nobody comes into a house and buy a new house and be like, keep all the furniture in here. I like it just like this. I don't want to change anything. Everybody comes in and changes something. Everybody comes in and change something. You don't get elected for president and come in and be like, hey, I ain't changing nothing. Everything the previous guy was doing, we just go keep that rolling. I don't see nothing that needs to be changed. Right? You don't move in with a woman with kids and you marry her and adopt her kids and be like, whatever your mama was doing, nothing changes. There's no purpose for you being there. If you're not going to have guidance and leadership, I'm just coming in there and enforce what y'all was doing before. Then you should have kept the last guy. You should have kept him alone if nothing changed. You mean to tell me we're running the same offense? How does that work in football? Hey, we're firing John Gruden. We're bringing in Tony Dungy, and Tony Dungy come in and say, hey, the exact same playbook that John Gruden was running, we ain't changing nothing. As a matter of fact, that did happen. John Gruden left the Raiders and went to Tampa Bay and took over for Tony Dungy. John Gruden left the Raiders. I want to say the coach they hired might have been one of his assistants. I think it was Bill Callahan. I have to double check that. But miraculously, they both ended up in the Super Bowl that year. So Rich Gannon led the Raiders to the Super Bowl at quarterback, and the defense of Tampa Bay led them to the Super Bowl with Warren Sapp and all them boys, Rondé Barber. Not Rondé, but Rondé. Rondé was the corner. Rondé Barber and all them boys. Derek Brooks. They get to the Super Bowl. John Gruden, I lie to you not, because if you watch that game, Tampa Bay was getting sacks, interceptions all over. Rich Gannon looked like the best quarterback in the league that year, but at the Super Bowl, he could barely complete a pass. Like, it was pick sixes all over the place. Like, they was destroying the Raiders. After that, the players have done several interviews talking about that, and they said that we knew their entire playbook. They actually didn't change not one thing that John Gruden put in place. They didn't even change the terminology. So whenever they was calling stuff out and calling audibles out, John Gruden had already had us ready for it. We knew exactly what play they was running almost every play. So, yeah, when you get a guy in that's supposed to be leading your team, and he comes in and say, I'm gonna do the exact same thing that the guy before me did, then you're gonna suffer the same fate. We just proved that junk don't work. They won a championship with it, and then 2 straight years y'all getting whooped in the playoffs. It don't work, bro. It don't work. So why are you running the same thing? So the system is the issue. It ain't the players, it's the system. Change the system, play something more sophisticated and harder to figure out, and then watch what happens. Simply Hot Takes, what's up? He said some of these subscribers be doing that to Mel, though, honestly speaking, but you fools be coming back because Mel be giving you some good. Boy, y'all stupid. They went to war and won. They have a legacy together no matter what Mike Malone got done wrong. I can see that. That Super Bowl was awful. Yeah, I watched that Super Bowl on I was on deployment with the Navy. And we had a Super Bowl party. We had big screen TV on the hangar bay. We was in the middle of the Middle East out there. It was hot, but we had a ball that night though. But yeah, man, that was insane. Man down is a genius. I got here late and just listened to his Kuminga assessment. Nobody gets it like him. I appreciate you, big dog. I appreciate you. A lot of people get it, man, but they just love Steve Kerr so much they can't be honest about it. I mean that's what that is. I do want to talk about the Hornets just really quick though. I don't even want to be on there long, but as you can see right there at the bottom of the screen, the last 32 games at 21-11. That's good. They started out really bad, so they've been digging themselves out of a hole. So right now they're 1 game behind 500, one game under 500, but they're streaking in the right direction. Like I said, the team that should be on your to watch list are the Hawks, especially in the East. The Hawks, you want to go watch the Hawks, and you please go watch how they play and watch what Kuminga is doing. You want to watch the Hawks, and you want to watch the Hornets. Dude, the Hornets put up a lot of threes, but they're playing defense. Con Knippel, the rookie, he's got the most made threes in the season. This year as a rookie. No one has made more threes than Con. And he set a record. No rookie has made this many threes in a season. So he's got that record. Brandon Miller's a good shooter at 3, and so is LaMelo Ball. And between the 3 of them, Con Knippel is like number 1 and made threes. LaMelo Ball is finally playing more games than he's missing. Right. So, hopefully he's figured out his ankle issues just like Steph did. It took Steph a little while. But he hasn't missed a whole bunch of ball games. He's number 7 and made threes. And Brandon Miller has missed a chunk of games at the beginning of the season. So if he didn't miss a chunk of games, he probably would be in the top 10 and made threes as well. But even with missing those games, he's still, I want to say, what was he? I think he's in the top 20 and made threes. Well, no, and made threes, he might be like 32, but and made threes per game. So if let's not go take into account totals. I think they all 3 are in the top 15 and made threes per game. So they put up a lot of threes. They shoot it well. They're playing good basketball. I mean, I wanted them to draft Ace Bailey, but Con has been a great pickup. I think Ace Bailey probably would have been good with them too, but it would have created a redundancy because I think Brandon Miller and Ace Bailey kind of do the same thing and play the same way. So shout out to the Hornets for making this pick of Con Knippel over Ace Bailey. That was good scouting. They bring in Brandon Miller when they had an opportunity to pick Scoop Henderson. That was a good pick. They picked LaMelo Ball. Like whatever we clowned them about before with their draft picks, they've been getting it right the last 5 years for sure. Starting with Melo. I mean, you can go back further and go with Miles Bridges. Good pickup. And the personalities of these guys to say, I want to stay with the Hornets. Miles Bridges had the opportunity to lead the Hornets and go get money somewhere else or go play for a contender, he decided to stay. LaMelo Ball has been rumored to be getting traded and leaving all this stuff, and he came out publicly and said, I'm not the type of person to jump around and team hop. I want to be in Charlotte. Like, we've never had a player this good other than Kemba Walker publicly say, I don't want to leave. I want to be in Charlotte. Larry Johnson and Lonzo Mourning was probably the best guys we had, and we couldn't keep them because the first chance they got to go to a big market, they went to Miami and New York and got up out of Charlotte. And we had both of them. Couldn't even keep them. We was able to get a couple of free agents in Charlotte. They got Glenn Rice for a couple of years. He made All-Star, and then he left to go get a championship in LA. They've had they've had Al Jefferson toward the end of his career. I like when he was there toward the end of his career, but for the most part, that's been a story of Charlotte's life. But with the lineup of Melo Ball, Con Knipple, Brandon Miller, Miles Bridges, and Diabate, that lineup is plus 179 on the season. When that lineup is in the game together, they are plus 179, which is number one in the league. And I think the starting lineup of Detroit is number two, but they are way distant behind them. So this is pretty much the best starting five in the league when they're on the floor. Plus 179 is insane. So they're going to be in a play-in. We're going to get an opportunity if they continue to play well and if the Hawks continue to play well. We're going to get an opportunity to see Atlanta and the Charlotte Hornets probably in the playoffs. And to be able to see them on TV on a big stage in the playoffs against a playoff contender or a playoff team in a 7-game series, that's going to put a lot of spotlight on some players that need some spotlight, right? So now people are going to be able to see what LaMelo Ball could do on a huge scale or huge stage. And we're going to be able to see what Kuminga can do on a huge scale or a huge stage. I think that's going to be good, and that's going to be good for their career as well, and good for Charlotte and good for Atlanta. So keep y'all eye out on that. All right. Now we get to the fun part. Now we get to the LeBron topic. And then after I do this, I can get out of y'all hair so I can go watch the rest of these games. I probably won't catch that Denver game. I wanted to. Utah's holding on. They're down by 4 in the third quarter. They're trying to hold on. Let me see how much Ace Bailey got. Ace Bailey only got 9 points. That ain't good. Ace Bailey, you got to turn up, big dog. This is an opportunity for you. All right, so the whole LeBron of it, and y'all probably heard this clip, man. Byron Scott was on a LA, I don't even know if it was a podcast or a radio station, but it was local to LA. And they was having a conversation. He talked about a lot of stuff, man. He talked about Kobe. He talked about CP3, a lot of that stuff, man. But they pretty much asked him, man, is it time for LeBron to leave LA? He was like, yeah, I'm ready to see him go. And that wasn't really a knock on him. It was just like, you know, you got to understand how serious that LA fraternity is. And you know, I don't think Brian Scott would say that if this ain't the type of thing that a lot of those Lakers are saying behind closed doors, man. I think they ready for it to be over. But this is the funny part, though. Luka gonna be right behind them because if you tired of the LeBron circus, you're definitely gonna be tired of the Luka circus. I'm telling you right now, you're gonna be sick and tired of that Luka circus, just like Dallas was. And whoever makes decisions for the Lakers, they're gonna have to end up making the decision just like Nico Harris did. I mean, they're gonna get tired of it. LeBron, Luka, and JJ Redick at some point, the Lakers and these guys, they go speak up and they're gonna be ready for them boys to go. But here's what Scott was saying on the podcast.
Just real quick, switching gears. LeBron recently said that it's harder to play now in this NBA than it was back in the day, bro. Not even close. The fast break.
Listen, you know, I'm a big LeBron fan. I don't think he's the greatest that ever played, but I'm a big LeBron fan. But that was laughable to me.
Damn.
When I heard that. I said, wait a minute. So you're saying that it's easier to play in the 80s than it is today? You know, that
did you ever see the Celtics and Lakers and the Kirk Rambis fouls and all those stuff?
You guys are trying to take each other's heads off.
I mean,
you never saw the Pistons play back then?
Yeah.
No, I mean, and it's, Chick Hearn's on saying, no blood, no foul. You get up, you shoot your free throws, you keep playing.
Mm-hmm.
The game was so much more physical then. Now you could sit back and say, well, the score wasn't as high. Go back and look. Our scoring, we had probably between 12 to 15 teams averaging over 100 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
So the pace of the game was just as fast as it is today. I don't think the guys, we played 94 feet because everything was predicated on getting the ball inside and out, right? They play 60 feet today because everything is predicated on shooting threes.
Yeah. So
you're
not even
not
going inside.
Yeah, you're not going up and down like we did back in the day. And
you're not getting
as far
physical in the paint.
As far as physicality of the game, it's not even close. So I just thought it was laughable, coming from one of the greatest players that ever played a game, to say that it was harder. It's harder to play now than it was then.
Are you ready to see him go from the Lakers?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm a fan, but I don't mince words either. I mean, I think this should be his last year here.
Not in the NBA, just here.
No, just here.
Okay.
I really.
You don't got to go home, but you got to go.
It's Moore's Day. You know what I'm saying?
That's
you don't have to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here.
Wow. So a Laker legend is saying that you ain't got to go home, but you got to get out of here. Actually, going home is probably the only place he can go, which is Cleveland. I don't think nobody else wants the circus. I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze at this point. Everyone knew the juice was a little sour. Everybody knew that. But at least you got a lot of it when you squeeze it. I don't think all the effort to squeeze this orange is bringing out enough juice for you to be like, I'm gonna keep squeezing it, right? So what you're getting out of it, what all the work and effort you have to do to maintain this circus, all the, I don't know if I'm gonna retire, I don't know when I'm gonna retire, I want you to draft my son, I want you to hire this coach after you fire this coach, I want you to go and get Westbrook, I want you to trade Kuzma, I want you to trade for AD, like all this maneuvering on top of my agent is going to be on podcasts and he's going to be saying things about my teammates. You probably should trade Austin Reeves. And now everybody's talking about how bad Luka's defense is and why we're all of a sudden saying that. I mean, we got daggone Mark Stein on ESPN talking about when Luka didn't take that last shot and they lost that game last week. Mark Stein is on ESPN saying, I want the ball in LeBron's hand. LeBron is 1,000 years old. He's older than some of the trees in my old neighborhood. And you fix your mouth to get on national TV, and that's what you want to say about that situation? I want the ball in LeBron's hand. No, the hell you don't. Who paying you to say that, Mark Stein? Up there looking like Frankenstein. Like who's paying you to say that? That's not, come on, dog. But like there's a lot, like, Kevin Durant said, man, no one wants to be around all that that circus, man. Because it is a circus that's following LeBron. There's so much stuff going on. He got media members on payroll, not real payroll. I'm not saying that, but media members that do his bidding at the very least. You got his agent putting pressure on media members not to say stuff or to say stuff. You got LeBron running up on Stephen A. Smith at games for what he said about his son. You got, it's just so much stuff going on, and the organization is like, dang, man, I will put up with all that, and I got to pay you $52 million a season. I would put up with all that if I was getting the return back financially and we were winning, like championships. You're probably getting the money back financially because LeBron is still big business. I'm pretty sure they're selling tickets. But now that you got Luka, you could milk him for all that financial burden. So I just pay Luka. Why pay both Luka and LeBron if Luka could do, if not more, or at least the same amount of return financially with jersey sales, ticket sales, and all of that stuff, and TV deals and all that. Luka can give me that, so I don't need LeBron no more now. So the financial return ain't worth it. Plus, we're not even winning. So why pay two guys $50+ million a season when I can pay one? And that's why LeBron didn't get that extension. And that's why these Lakers are saying, all right, we can move on from LeBron now. It's a done deal. All right, we can move on. So that's that situation. But that's not the only situation, right? Man, Grant Williams went on, was it 520 podcast? And he was talking about a whole bunch of things, and they asked him about how was it playing in the bubble. Now, remember, LeBron said after he won in the bubble that it was the hardest championship known to man. And when I asked all these people, like, what was so hard about the bubble? You didn't have to get on an airplane and travel. You didn't go city to city. You didn't play in a hostile environment with a crowd rooting against you, heckling you. You didn't have to deal that. You didn't go from hotel to hotel, plane to plane. Like, that's a grind that was absent from the bubble. But they would tell me, actually, all that traveling is not as hard as being stuck in the bubble and not being able to access nothing. So they was telling me that the bubble was harder because you had to deal with the mental aspect of being in the bubble. You stuck in the hotel room. All your food got to get sent to you in the hotel room. You couldn't eat what you want. You couldn't drink what you want. You know what I mean? So you couldn't, you ain't had no weed in there. You ain't had no alcohol in there. Like, all this stuff they saying was, oh man, this make it hard. Like Paul George said, man, mentally he was messed up by being in the bubble. Like, cause it was like, you felt closed in. You felt closed in. Just to find out that the mental grind that all the other players went to, LeBron didn't have to go through. Here's how he explained it.
The bubble was crazy just because, like, you gotta think, you play a game, after a game, you can't shower. You walk in, like, you walk out the locker room, you see that you just played.
Yeah.
Like, and mind you, there was so much going on in the bubble. And mind you, there was nobody but dudes. Yeah. So, like, it was to a point where, like, you would, like, they had this one pool where you had the shrimps. Like, you go get shrimps, you go to your room. That was the best food you can get on the bubble because you couldn't order in from the start. You couldn't get no takeout. Like, I remember the one time dude went to the edge of the bubble, got suspended for 3 games.
Yeah.
So, like, you couldn't order until, like, I think we was like 50 days in.
And they showed the meals y'all had. Boy, the meals was
they delivered them to your room. When you first
not LeBron. There. LeBron ain't good.
Boy, LeBron had his own room at the top, penthouse, wine.
Yeah.
For real?
For real, bro.
He had a house on the campus.
Yeah, speak for yourself, G.
Stop playing.
That's what I'm saying. He was like that.
Yeah, I knew about that.
Hey, man, remember LeBron Equinox? We in there with all grown ass men and superstars.
Said,
don't come across the room.
Yeah, LeBron had a different bubble experience. I'm surprised you didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, LeBron legit, like, he had his own, like, he had their own setup. Like, that team was taken care of.
On everything. Somebody leaked some shit. And I said, ooh, that nigga Bron special.
So yeah, so then next thing you know, we have that bubble experience was insane.
So he said he was talking about the grind of the bubble and was telling that, explaining why all the stuff was a little difficult and hard. And then the co-host, Jeff T's co-host said, not LeBron. He said LeBron had a different experience. And Grant Williams, confirmed and was like, yeah, you're right. LeBron didn't have to go through all this. They said LeBron had a penthouse. He was separate from where everybody else was at. He had wine and all types of other shit in there. Like, he was living like a king in there. And he was like, that whole team was straight. So not only did LeBron have it more cushy than everyone else, so did his team. And I bet you bottom dollar, Savannah and all his kids was in that daggone penthouse. Otherwise, why would you even need it? So he probably got in the bubble with his whole family when everybody else couldn't bring their family. So being away from your kids, not knowing if they like, imagine being in the bubble and then you get a phone call from your wife saying your son and your daughter got COVID and we got to go to the hospital. Oh, man. Like LeBron didn't have to worry about that. I think LeBron family was there with him in that penthouse. Otherwise, I don't think LeBron would have done it without that. And if that's the way he negotiated, more power to him. Because remember, like they said, when everybody was trying to figure out, are we going to go march for George Floyd or are we going to go play basketball? And they was having these meetings with the players and all that stuff. And Kyrie Irving was like, hey, man, let's skip this bubble. We got an opportunity right now. We got an opportunity to make power moves in America as black men and women. And they was like, man, Kyrie on that nonsense, man. And then somebody told on Kyrie and went and told the reporters, like, hey, Kyrie trying to make us not play in the bubble and saying we should start our own league. Like, why would you snitch on your bro like that and go tell the man, hey, Kyrie trying to daggone sabotage the whole league, man, and then Stephen A take his hairline ass to the daggone public, and you know what? That's a whole nother topic. But Pat Beverly said, hey, man, is LeBron playing? Okay, if LeBron playing, I'm playing. Whatever LeBron say we doing, we doing. That's how they said that. So they probably went to LeBron and was like, hey, man, everybody waiting on you to figure out what we go do. They go follow your lead. So what do you need for you to say you doing it? I need a guarantee that we go win a ring. I need a penthouse. I need my family in the bubble. And he in the bubble eating good, drinking good, in a penthouse, living like a king, getting cheeks every night. While everybody else is number dudes in there. Not getting no cheeks. Not seeing no cheeks. The only girl that was in there was Rachel Nichols. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's a little different. And then the Lakers was getting dibs on that penthouse as well. So they had it cushy a little bit as well. So that puts a whole new perspective on that bubble thing. Puts a whole new perspective on it. And the more and more people talk, the more comes out about everything that, that's been going on with LeBron's career. The more that, like Iman Shumpert was just on Club Shay Shay talking about LeBron changing plays right after the team was briefed by the head coaches on the game plan. LeBron would come out and say, we're not running that play. And I don't know if there's good power or bad power. But the reasoning for us not running that play is not because I don't think it's going to work. It's because I'm going to get banged up going down low doing it. Like he said, it was like, no, we running horns. I'm not about to run down in the paint and get elbowed and banged up by them big dudes all night long. Now we running horns all night. Horns put you right there at the free throw line, extended elbow, maybe. Yeah, we running horns. I was like, golly, is that power or is that good power or bad power? I don't know. It's tough. But I know the reasoning is whack. And I know more coachable players probably wouldn't have done it, but maybe they would. I don't know. Maybe we never heard about it. You know what I mean? So it's a lot to that, man. Take it for what it's worth, man. And I guess eat the meat and chew out the bones, man. But that's my show for the night, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Let me see if I got any other comments I want to bring up. Yeah, no super chats either. Yep. But all right, y'all, man. I'll catch y'all on the next one, man. I probably will go live again depending on what happens tonight with some of these games. I might see y'all again tomorrow. But until next time, peace.